VersaTop by VT GeoScapes. It's a beautiful obtainable quartz surface that is easier to fabricate and install when compared to traditional quartz countertops. Join us as we walk through the fabrication and installation process. We will begin with a list of tools needed to fabricate VersaTop. Tile saw or guide saw system, diamond tip blades, variable speed grinder, cut wheel attachment, core bit, shop vacuum, polishing pads, adhesive cartridge and caulk gun, C-clamps or bar clamps, water containment suction ring, tape measure, T-square, 6-foot level, 3-foot level, painter's tape, pencil, shims ranging from 1/32 to 1/4 in thickness, putty knife and cup, razor blade, acetone, cleaning cloth, apron, rubber boots, carpenter's square, bucket and tile sponge. To reduce risk of injury, proper safety and equipment should be worn at all times while fabricating and installing VersaTop quartz. You'll need safety glasses, leather work gloves to protect your hands when handling sharp materials, latex gloves when working with seam adhesive, a back brace, and a respirator with removable disc specifically designed to block VOCs, since they may be present in dust and seam adhesives. Before you begin, it's important to inspect the material for quality and ensure that it's free of defects. Step 1. Remove the protective film. VersaTop comes with a protective peel coat which helps protect the surface of the material during shipping. Step 2. Look closely at the material and look for any irregularities in the particulate structure or color in individual slabs. You'll also want to look for color consistency between slabs and joining two slabs together at a seam. Quartz is not guaranteed to match in any color directionality from lot to lot. Step 3. Check for any fissures and also inspect the material for flatness. Step 4. Inspect the lamination and polish for consistency. Last but not least, verify the product dimensions. There are several best practices for material handling that will help protect the product and prevent injury to yourself and coworkers. Use proper lifting techniques, which include lifting with your legs. Make sure that you wear gloves to protect your hands when handling the VersaTop slabs. When moving slabs of VersaTop, it is a good idea to handle the product with care. VersaTop has a greater flexural strength than the standard quartz or natural stone. However, it is not indestructible and can be broken. Carrying the product vertically makes the product easier to maneuver in the shop and on the job site. VersaTop may be cut, wet, or dry. However, it is important to always use a GFCI outlet when working with electricity and water at the same time. Start the fabrication process by measuring and marking the slab where it will be cut to size. Apply the tape to the slab where the cut is to be made. Move slab into position on the saw. Cutting VersaTop is essentially the opposite of cutting wood. When cutting wood, you push the saw blade away from you. With the stone, you pull the saw blade towards you, so that the heat and dust are taken away from the stone. You can use the tile saw, guide saw system, or variable speed grinder to cut the VersaTop slab. Once the seam is cut, you'll need to wipe away the dust and debris with a damp white cleaning cloth and acetone. You'll also want to dry fit the seams to ensure your seams are accurate and flush. Lamination process. The first step of the lamination process is cutting the lamination strip. Apply painter's tape and cut the face of the VersaTop slab to prevent chipping. Using a variable speed grinder or tile saw, cut a strip of 1 3/8 inch in width. If possible, cut the lamination strip from the same edge of the slab that you are laminating. After turning the VersaTop slab face down, use a cup wheel attachment on the variable speed grinder to grind both the lamination strip and the area on the slab where the lamination strip will be applied. Be sure to use constant pressure in a single sweeping motion when grinding. Then, using a circular blade attachment on the variable speed grinder, make grooves in the center of the lamination strip and in the center of the countertop surface. These grooves will hold the adhesive and help lock the lamination strip in place for superior performance. Use a white cleaning cloth in acetone to remove the dust debris from scored surfaces. Allow for the area to dry before applying adhesive. Apply painter's tape on the surface of the countertop where the clamps will be applied. Apply a liberal amount of seam adhesive to the countertop surface. Place lamination strip on countertop edge. Apply C-clamps or bar clamps to the front edge of the countertop, working your way towards the back. Hand tighten the clamps and use a putty knife to remove excess glue and place in a cup. Be sure to work quickly to remove the excess glue. Allow 10 or 15 minutes for the adhesive to cure. Remove clamps and using a fine or medium cup wheel attachment on the variable speed grinder, remove excess glue. For best results, keep the cup wheel flat. Finally, clean the surface with a cleaning cloth in acetone. Polishing process. Polishing VersaTop can be done with your variable speed grinder or with a wet polisher. With the 3-pad polishing process, use a backer plate to secure the polishing pads. Work at a moderate speed starting with the lowest numbered polishing pad. Work through each pad and be sure to use every polishing pad including the buff pads. Use a white buff pad for lighter colored VersaTop and a black buff pad for darker VersaTop colors. To avoid uneven polishing, maintain consistent contact throughout the 3-step polishing process. To create a 1/8 inch radius, use a T-square to measure 1/16 of an inch from the top and 1/16 of an inch from the front side of the edge. Mark with a pencil and painter's tape. Turn the slab right side up and repeat this process for the top edge. Fabricating for the sink. To drill the faucet or accessory holes, always lay out the spacing with painter's tape and mark the areas appropriately. Wet the bottom of the water containment suction ring and apply to the VersaTop surface. Add roughly 1/8 inch of water inside the ring. With a firm grip on the variable speed grinder with a core bit attachment, apply the core bit to the surface at an angle, at a moderate speed, and drill until the core bit is a 90-degree angle with the surface. Rock the bit from side to side as you drill to avoid the core bit being pinched in the hole by the dust buildup. Be sure to check the ring intermittently to ensure that there is water in the ring to help cool the core bit and the VersaTop surface. There are 2 seam options that are used when bringing 2 slabs of VersaTop together for installation: butt joint and a key cut seam, also known as a Euro seam. It's important to consider the seam options to maximize yield. Typically, the butt joint is used for a straight run. The key cut seam or Euro seam is ideal for an L-shaped run. Installation. You'll want to start the installation process with the level and in-plane cabinets. Apply 3/8 to 5/8 thick plywood subdeck or build-up strips where applicable. Carefully set the VersaTop quartz on the cabinet vertically and then lay it down to the horizontal. Test fit the surfaces and use caution when sliding 2 pieces of VersaTop together at a seam to prevent chipping. Check the seams are leveled both front to back and side to side. Work to get the seam as flush as possible. Apply dabs of silicone every 6 to 12 inches to the subdeck or build-up strips. Apply pressure to obtain a level surface. Pull the pieces apart and apply the glue into the seam. Make sure the adhesive sinks down and covers both of the pieces. Use a putty knife to push the adhesive down into the gap. Use the manual suction cups to pull the pieces together. Immediately remove residual glue with a putty knife. Allow for the adhesive to cure for 10 to 15 minutes. Once the adhesive is dry, clean the countertop with a white cleaning cloth in acetone. VersaTop quartz does not require sealer. It is important that a 24-hour period is allowed before the use of your new VersaTop countertops to prevent any possible movement during the setting process. For more information about VersaTop, visit our website at www.vtindustries.com.